Good afternoon to all my wonderful viewers out there. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. As you can see, I'm a little bit rugged up at the moment because the weather is actually a little bit cold down here in Australia at the moment. And in today's video, while I'm shivering away, we're going to be continuing our series on Danyal forgot it was releasing this weekend and now has to cover it and make up for it. As we discussed in the previous video, in the Bape Pingu video, I missed out on a couple collections that released on March 28th. So we're playing catch up now and we're covering them in today's videos. And I also hopefully today will be able to cover some stuff that is up and coming to make up for it as well. So to continue that series, in our second part, we're going to be talking about the recently released Bape Gore-Tex Spring Summer 2020 capsule. Yes guys, so over the weekend, Bape, alongside its Bape Pingu collaboration, also released a small Spring Summer 2020 capsule of Bape Gore-Tex goods. Now if you don't know what Gore-Tex is a waterproof, breathable fabric that is a registered trademark of WL Gore and Associates. So it's not a material that you can just buy and use in your products. You would have to contact and get licensing from WL Gore and Associates to use their material, as they have a registered trademark on the material, which is why you see a lot of brands making their own versions of Gore-Tex, because obviously the exact method on creating Gore-Tex has been coined by WL Gore, right? But other brands can make slightly alternate or different versions of it and then have their own use of Gore-Tex without having to contact Gore-Tex, pay WL Gore a certain amount of money to use the material. They can instead make it themselves. But in this case, Bape went all the way and contacted WL Gore and Associates and actually got the licensing to use the material in a small little capsule that they did release over the weekend. So you're gonna get some very high quality Bape pieces in this little collection here. Now the collection's quite cool. It features a lot of outwear primarily because that's what Gore-Tex is usually used for. Because it's a waterproof, breathable material, you don't really see Gore-Tex being used on things like shirts, you know, things like shirts, underwear, stuff like that, because it's not really needed. Your standard cotton stuff will do. Gore-Tex is usually used on things like coats, hoodies, sometimes shoes, very rarely shoes, and if you do have Gore-Tex shoes, they're usually like the ideal shoe for like cold, wet conditions. It's because they're just so much more breathable to like hard leather shoes that are also waterproof as well, you know, like Timberland with their suede 6-inch boots and stuff like that. If you want something that's breathable, waterproof, light, Gore-Tex is usually the way to go. So that's why there's a big appeal on getting Gore-Tex on board when you're doing like outwear, anorax, you know, coats, stuff like that. So it is a very lightweight and very nice material. So I'm really keen to dive into and have a look at the pieces that Bape made using that material. Now, what I have for us today is a HYPEBEAST article to cover all the pieces that released on that weekend drop. And then I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on each of the individual pieces and how they've utilized the material. Now, if you want me to cover Bape or more Gore-Tex releases, don't forget to like this video, comment down below that you want to see either more Bape videos or more videos covering Gore-Tex. Either way, just let me know in that comment section below. But without further ado, I think we should head over to the HYPEBEAST article and have a look at the Bape Gore-Tex Spring Summer 2020 capsule. And here we are, guys. So as we can see straight off the bat, not very typical of Bathing Ape to do a piece like this. I mean, maybe more in their Bape Black collections or their Bape Mastermind collaborations they would do something more like this, but for Bape standards, this is actually quite toned down, and I actually more prefer something like this. It still has Bape motifs on it, Bape things that Bape, you know, iconography that would make it very, you know, very easily recognizably Bape, but it doesn't have it splashed all over the piece, making it extremely obvious. All they've got is World Gone Mad, the shark face on here, and a little Bape ape head insignia down there. That's all they've really got Bape branding wise on this piece, and I actually kind of like it. It's more subtle, it's a lot more versatile. You could wear this with a lot more outfits because the branding has been kept It's minimal, but still there. It's still present, you can still see it. I actually quite like this way of handling it. So we've got 6 pieces to cover, and obviously the article itself. We'll dive into the article first, then we'll dive into each individual piece, and then we'll sum up the little capsule after we go through each individual piece. So let's start with the article and see what it has to say. So, Bape preps Camo covered Gore-Tex capsule. Now, unfortunately, Bape being Bape, they can't help it. They have to be loud. There has to be some loud pieces. Some of the pieces in this collection are quite loud, but in saying that, the pieces that I'm mainly interested in are the pieces that are the least loud, so it doesn't bother me too much. Fight spring showers in style. Bape's busy release schedule continues as the stalwart brand recently introduced patent leather shark Bapester and G-Shock collaboration are followed by a new selection of Gore-Tex line goods, encompassing a brief capsule of layering pieces, pants, and hats. The items all feature classic Bape imagery, elevated by functional properties. The signature first Bape camo piece appears on the capsule's track pants and accompanying hats. Laden with olive and yellow tinted twists on Bape's iconic print, shark face imagery and Gore-Tex branding lends further graphic appeal to the waterproof goods, while the complementary outwear is a little more understated. Executed in black, a jacket and parka feature shark detailing at the head, accompanied by taped seams and waterproofing zippers for maximum weatherproofing, and chenille WGM lettering for contrast. Expect the Bape Gore-Tex capsule to arrive on Bape's web store on March 28th. So, let's have a look. So this is obviously the jacket, sorry. I really like it because it does feature minimal branding. Now, I think it has to be part of the forms that you sign when you are allowed to use Gore-Tex material in your pieces, because I think every single Gore-Tex piece I have ever seen always features Gore-Tex branding on it in some way, shape, or form. I don't have anything against that. I just swear to God, it's something in the documents you have to sign to get Gore-Tex on board with your little capsule. I swear you just have to include the branding. I've got no issues with it. It's kept pretty subtly at the top of the chest there, done in silver. It features 3 zips, 2 pockets on each side with 1 down the middle. You've got ape head zips on the pockets, and doesn't look like you've got it on the main zip, or you might have it at the top there. It looks like you might have it at the top there. Pretty cool. Branding kept to a minimum. No ABC camo is presented on this piece, which actually makes it quite nice. Shark head logo and World Gone Mad lettering written on the top of the head there. I really like this piece. I think it's really nice. The reason that I wanted to cover this collection today actually was because it just appeared on Supply online, the Australian store that sells a lot of, streetwear and high fashion goods. Bape recently dropped a couple of these on that store, and I wanted to cover it because I thought, wow, these are some crazy good Bape pieces. Very unlike Bape to do something like this. This is really nice. I do like it how it's quite a long jacket. It's not something that's cut short at the waist. It continues all the way down. I can imagine this would be very expensive. I think on Supply Store, it was like 1.3 grand for this piece, just because of all the Gore-Tex materials, because Bape's collaborating with it. So it's a very expensive piece, but with Gore-Tex, that's not surprising, because Gore-Tex is such a high quality material. I can only guess how much Gore-Tex would want for this collaboration, so I can understand why the retail price has been bumped up. Either way, it's a really, really nice piece. If you're a fan of Bape but don't want something that's as loud as their regular pieces, this is definitely something that might appeal to you. Moving on, we'll go to the second piece. Okay, so this is the parka version, I think it is, or maybe it's the jacket version, whatever your terminology is for it. This one is essentially the same as the previous piece, but it cuts at the waist. So if you don't like pieces that run down to your thighs or go a little bit further than the waistline, this is something for you. But if you're like me and you kind of like your trench coat type of feels, this is more my thing. But they did do a smaller version of it in a way for people that like it just at the waist. This piece is basically the same. No details have been changed here besides the length, but either way, it's still a really nice piece if you go with the first one or the second one. Personally, I'm more of a fan of this one. I think this one just appeals to me a little bit more because I'm a big fan of, as you can see, wearing like trench coats and overcoats and big coats. So something like this is really appealing to me. I can only imagine how warm it would be, how waterproof it would be. These pieces are going to be insane in quality. And I really like the retro Bape branding on the left breast here. Bape in like silver squares with the ape head logo done in like a retro 90s looking thing here. It's really cool. It's really well done. Kept really toned down. It's awesome. Now, this is where we leave our toned down territory, where we start going into more classic Bape with the next piece. And I'll show you what I mean. See what I mean? See what I mean? Not as subtle. But in saying that, the camo, we do have to note that this camo is a little bit different from traditional Bape camo. So obviously we have the shark head here featured on the crotch, but the actual camo itself does not feature ape head logos. As you can see, you can't see any ape head logos in here. There's none there. It's just a traditional camo. It's actually kept quite minimal. I wouldn't have mind just like removing the shark head and keeping these pants as is. I think this would have been just a nice little Gore-Tex Bape collaboration. If they just removed the shark head, chuck the ape head logo in here a couple times, I think this could have been a really nice piece that, yes, it would be a little bit loud, but it still would have been a nice piece, you know? It still would have been on the fence of too loud, but also not too loud. But I don't know, they didn't put the ape head logos in, and they just kept the shark teeth, and the shark teeth and shark face are just, they're a little bit too loud for me, especially on the crotch. I think it looks a little bit ridiculous having something like that on your crotch, but that's just me. I wouldn't pick this up just because it's a little bit too loud, but they continue this train onto the fourth piece. This one's a little bit lighter, but still very loud. If you don't like a dark camo for the pants, you can pick something up that's a little bit lighter, but yeah, this is not for me. If I was to go for some Bape Gore-Tex pieces, these wouldn't be it. But maybe they are for you. Definitely let me know in the comment section below if you feel these more than the first two pieces. I kind of like it kept nice and toned down, like the first two jackets here. Moving on past the very, very bright camo pants here, we have the Goretex bucket hat. I actually quite like this one. I was kind of on the fence about it when I first initially saw it, because bucket hats are a bit 50-50 for me, but I thought the camo was quite well handled here. It's not too loud. It's not too in your face. It kind of just works with the dark tone of the actual hat itself, using, you know, a black top here, darker greens, nothing too light, nothing too loud. I actually think this is a really nice piece. And moving on, we have one more piece, which is just a lighter version of it here, actually featuring an ape head here. I wonder if they, okay, there might be, you might get one ape head. That's the rule. You get one ape head in the camo and then that's it. That's it. That's all you get. But yeah, in this collection, even though they did use camo, it's a lot more toned down from their traditional use of camo. Even though it still is quite loud with the branding and everything like that, it is more toned down than normal. And in all honesty, you could actually make a full outfit just out of everything released in this collection. You could wear the bucket hat, get the matching pants, and get one of the jackets, either the anorak or the jacket. I think you could do it. And it wouldn't look that ridiculous, because I don't know if you feel the same way, but when people wear like full Bape, it kind of just looks a little bit tacky. It just kind of looks like you're trying a bit too hard, and you're just like, I don't know how to style myself, so I'm just gonna wear all Bape. I don't know, maybe I'm just against all the Bape fans out there, but I kind of feel like that. If you wear too much Bape, it gets too much. Like, you need to calm down with that. But honestly, I think you could wear these pieces all together and it wouldn't even look that bad. But honestly, out of all the pieces that did release over the weekend in this little Gore-Tex Bape collection, I think this is the best. I think this is an awesome piece. I'm really surprised that they kept it so toned down. Maybe Gore-Tex made them do that, because I don't know if you guys know, whenever you collaborate with a brand like Gore-Tex or anything like that, you usually get set a couple guidelines that you have to follow, because they don't want their brand being misrepresented or shown in some way that they don't like it. It's a very tough world out there in the world of collaborations. That's why a lot of brands and a lot of collaborations you see, you may not actually like, because the original brand that would have a lot of artistic freedom usually gets you know, toned down because the brand they're collaborating with doesn't want them to go as crazy as they normally do. And I think this might be one of those cases where Goretex, even though they let Bape use Goretex for these pieces, I think Goretex would have said in the meeting room, hey, when you're doing these pieces, you've got to keep it as toned down as possible. So they were probably stretching the limits with some piece like this. This was probably too much, or asking too much of Goretex to do something like this. So I'm really surprised that they actually managed to get away with doing something like this, because there's not many other brands out there that I think would be able to get away with something like this with Goretex on board. So that's pretty crazy. I gotta give Bape props for that, for being able to get away with doing this like pretty crazy camo with Goretex. But all around, even though there's only 6 pieces in this small little capsule, it is a really cool collaboration. I wish Bape would do more pieces like this. I know they do it in their Bape Black and their Bape Mastermind pieces. They focus more on doing blacks and focus less about doing all the, you know, really loud branding and stuff like that. But it's not too often that we see Bape collections that, or collaborations that are quite toned down, and that's what I really like about this collection here. It's more toned down than usual, and it's more something, it's more versatile. It's more something that you could wear every day instead of just for that like special flex outfit, I suppose. But it's really nice. Yeah, I would love to know how you guys feel about it. What's your favorite piece out of it? Out of the 6, which one do you feel the most? I mean, maybe you just like the bucket hat. Maybe the bucket hat really speaks to you in the 2 colors here, but I really feel these jackets. I think these jackets are really nice. I just wish that, I mean, they're a little bit cheaper, because I'm not a millionaire. I'm not some 20-year-old superstar millionaire. I can't afford $1,300 jackets every day of the week. But apart from that, yeah, it's just, there's some really nice pieces here. But I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or in the comment section below. How do you feel about this Bape Goretex capsule? Would you pick any of it up? Did you pick any of it up when it dropped on March 28th? Now that it's available on Supply Store online, definitely go check it out if you're Australian, because I don't think they're shipping overseas for the Bape pieces. I don't know why. Normally they ship overseas, but they're not doing it on Supply Store. So that's a little bit weird, but oh well. Either way, let me know all your thoughts and opinions on the Bape Goretex Spring Summer 2020 capsule in the comment section below. That's everything in the capsule, guys. That is everything that dropped in Bape's Goretex Spring Summer 2020 capsule. I think it was really nice. It was a nice, little sweet little collaboration. Nothing was too loud, too crazy. And some of the, like, seriously, those jackets were awesome. Those jackets are really cool. I even thought that the caps, even with the camo, and even the pants weren't that bad. All round, it was actually pretty solid. And I don't know if that's because Goretex was like, Bape, you got to keep it minimal because we don't want too crazy pieces, or if Bape actually decided that they wanted to just keep it a little bit more toned down this time around. Either way, I liked it because it didn't seem as tacky, because there wasn't just all this branding, all this everything all over the top of it. It was kept more minimal than usual, and that was nice. That was nice that Bape actually did that. Now, as I said, it has released today on Supply Store Australia, so if you guys want to pick that up and you're Australian, you can do that. Normally, Supply Store does ship worldwide, but they've restricted their Bape pieces to Australia only, which, cool, because I live in Australia, that's awesome. But I feel bad for the worldwide audience that missed out on, you know, Bape on Bape.com or Bape Japan, and they want to pick it up and now they can't. So I mean, yeah, there's that. I mean, I feel sad. I feel sorry for you guys, but yeah, either way, that's okay. I'm sure it'll appear on Grailed or something like that, and you can buy it for resale, or maybe someone a couple years down the line won't want a piece anymore and they'll sell it for cheap. I don't know. There'll be a resolution eventually. You'll be able to pick it up if you do really want it. But how do you feel about the pieces that released in Bape's Goretex collaboration there? Anything that you liked? Was it not really your thing? Did you pick some of it up when it dropped on March 28th? Definitely let me know. Let me know in that comment section below, guys. And if you want me to cover more Bape and Goretex, as I said, like the video, comment down below. Let me know. Just let me know what you want me to cover, guys, and I can definitely do that. Now, that's everything I really have to say about the Bape Goretex capsule that released for Spring Summer 2020. So until the next Bape video, until the next Goretex video, until the next Streetwear video, guys, I'll catch you later.